Chelsea 3, Arsenal 1. It's ended it's only 3-1 to Chelsea here in the London derby at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea are now 12 points clear of their London rivals in the Premier League title race. I'm going to be looking back at the goals and how the game panned out for Antonio Conte's side and, of course, Arsene Wenger's side. What went right for Chelsea, what went wrong for Arsenal before heading over to the press conference. So first things first, let's look at the start to the game. Now, Arsene Wenger, who of course was sitting in the stands today because of his touchline ban, he opted to go for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and Francis Coquelin in midfield, of course, because Granit Xhaka was serving his suspension. Mohamed El Neni, of course, is away at the Africa Cup of Nations. Aaron Ramsey's injured, Santi Cazorla's injured. So he had, a lack of options in the central midfield positions. But I thought Arsenal actually started off the game pretty well, despite the fact that, of course, they came into this match having lost to Watford, that shock 2-1 defeat at home in midweek. They started the game off pretty well, but they conceded early on in the 13th minute through Marcos Alonso when he scored. And I felt that that really put an end to the kind of positive start that Arsenal had early on. There was a bit of controversy with that goal as well. Now, Marcos Alonso, Diego Costa had headed the ball onto the crossbar and it bounced back into the area. And Marcos Alonso raced into the box and he appeared to catch his marker, Hector Bellerin, in the head with his elbow before he scored. Now, Arsenal fans, I think Chelsea fans would have been absolutely, they would have been angry had that goal been chalked off. But there were a lot of Arsenal fans, particularly on social media, who were venting their frustrations at the fact that they felt that Marcos Alonso had fouled Bellerin in the build-up to the goal. The goal stood. It gave Chelsea that 1-0 lead, that all-important 1-0 lead early on in the game. And it kind of set the tempo for the rest of the match. Chelsea began to grow into the game. They had a bit of a slow start. They looked a little bit off the pace in the first couple of minutes, but they settled into the game really quickly. And then, of course, Hazard made it 2-0 with his stunning goal in the second half. He literally raced past 3 Arsenal players, including Francis Coquelin, who was left lying on the pitch as he tried to stop Hazard from running, and he slotted past Petr Cech to make it 2-0. And I felt at that point, that was when, I think it was kind of game over for Arsenal. They did try and back it back, however, and I think they had 1 or 2 chances more to score, but they just found it too difficult to get past. It's particularly past the midfield combination of Nkante and Matic, who was superb. Kante was absolutely amazing against Liverpool, in the 1-1 draw on Tuesday, and he was very, very good here. What was, I felt, as well, the turning Bellerin's injury, I felt, was key to this result as well. Now, of course, when Alonso caught Bellerin, he was left on the pitch for a little while. He looked really, really dazed because he had been caught in the head. What you saw was, as soon as he came off, Chelsea began to get more joy down the left flank, and they even had a chance to score through the left flank when Alonso he latched onto, I think it was Matic's cross, and sent the ball into the area for Pedro, who nearly scored, and tested Cech with a shot. Chelsea certainly exploited their pace down the flank, and a lot of the chances came down. The goal itself came from the right. There were chances down the left once Bellerin went off, and I think that Chelsea really used that. But yeah, Hazard made it 2-0, and then Cesc Fabregas, who I think understandably, well, not understandably, but Chelsea, Arsenal fans in the travelling section gave him a bit of grief as he tore me up nearly. He came on and he took advantage of a really, really poor error from Petr Cech to make it 3-0. And then Olivier Giroud, who scored a consolation goal late on to end the game 3-1. Now, this result, this defeat, is heavy for Arsenal because it leaves them 12 points off Chelsea. It's their 5th straight defeat here at Stamford Bridge as well. Questions now: can Arsenal realistically can they really get back into this title race? They're going to have to win pretty much every game from now until the end of the season and hope Chelsea lose a lot of points, which they're looking unlikely to do. They're playing so well with so much confidence. Well, for Chelsea, undoubtedly, this is a huge step towards winning the title. I mean, Conte's been very, very cautious about getting ahead of himself. He keeps on insisting, that his team have to take it one game at a time. But they've got this unbelievable lead now, with I think 15 games to play. So this is going to be huge for their confidence. And there's also going to be questions about, I think, about Arsene Wenger's future now. We obviously know that Arsenal fans are very much divided when it comes to Arsene Wenger. Should he stay, should he go? His contract is up soon. So there will be questions about whether or not, his future, long-term future anyway, remains at Arsenal. In terms of our coverage now, I've written a match report which is now up on standard.co.uk. My colleague James is still live blogging the game and all the fallout from it. I'm going to head down to the press conference in a little while to hear from Arsene Wenger and Antonio Conte, and you can see all of their reaction from this game on standard.co.uk in the coming hours. And we'll have post-match analysis. I think if you go on the site now, you'll be able to see the 5 things that my colleague Simon learnt in terms of Chelsea, and our chief football correspondent James Ollie, he's written a piece about the 5 things we learnt from this for Arsenal off the back of this 3-1 defeat for the Gunners.